久しぶりすぎて。2月。ほんで、これがね、また、だっけな、確か。ちょっとね、次やることだけ調べてきたんで、マップ覚えてないんだよな。あ、そうだ、これの、そう、これをね、
You know, I feel like this axe might come in useful again. I
取
suppose
っても
there's no
構わ
harm
な
in
い。
taking it out now.
取っても構わない。
Just let me move out of the way first. I don't want to be anywhere near this lash up after the last time you touched it.
See? Perfectly safe. I think.
とっても構わないね。5時ですね。これでこれか。
Some driftwood is floating.
Honestly, the
I'm not.
ここでね、確か斧なはずな。
This might do the job. Yes, I can pull the driftwood in towards the shore.
ここまではちょっとね、調べた。
and you almost did it without dropping that antique axe into the drink too. Almost.
こっからは知らん。知らないと。でも多分ね、これ使うんじゃないのかな、ここに。
I can't just lay this wood over the water.
何かで縛らないとダメだ。はいはいはい。
Now
こ
I
う
can
だ。
bind this driftwood together with the vines.
お、
Yeah,
Yes。
this driftwood plank will make an ideal makeshift bridge over to the ship. There, perfect.
Perfect。
Oh yes,
はい。
this will definitely hold the combined weight of a giraffe and a hippo. Absolutely no danger here.
Have a little faith, my friend.
危ない気するな。おお。進んだ。お、これはバールのようなもの。
I suppose they kept this round in case it was needed to unstick a valve or something.
Could have done with that earlier.
Well, we have it now, that's the main thing.
バールのようなもの。お、エアロックね。これ。
Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to hold my breath for long periods of time. If I'm going out there, I'll need a way to breathe.
おお。エアロック、階段、窓。
It's a bit murky down here, though I rather fancy I can see something or someone moving out there.
I suppose some aquatic fellow might be living down here. Doesn't appeal to me. How would you ever make a cup of tea underwater?
Let me have a closer look.
え
I say, Frumple, old thing, there looks to be a chap in a spot of bother out here.
なんだタコ。タコおるやんけ。オルガン。
Look, Frumple, there's a book of music on the organ. Perhaps you could play one of these.
No, I don't think so. Don't really care for any of them.
You've not even looked.
見てもいないじゃないか。
Maybe if you have a particular request, I could treat you to a performance.
How marvellous! A pipe organ inside a submarine. Goofy was quite the polymath. Frumple, you play the piano. Would you like to give this a try?
Well, I'm sure I could play it, but I'm not really in the mood at the moment.
気分じゃない。
Notes about the times the vessel has been taken out. Nothing particularly recent as far as I can tell. Times, dates, coordinates, that sort of thing.
All a load of bloody gibberish to me. Oh, I say, the last page has a note written on it.
My dearest Ethelberta, a reminder that should you need to open the safe in my absence, you have only to play our tune.
Fellow has a safe then. Best look into that. Always some good clues in safes. Quite a lot of good that note does us though. How do we know what their tune was? Fella could have been a bit more explicit.
I rather suspect that was the point. Anyway, we don't know, but somebody else might. We'll need to find out where this safe is too. Maybe one of the staff would be able to help
従
there.
業員に聞いてみると。なるほど。これはこれ調べらんねんかい。
I say, I wonder where this goes.
I suspect it leads down to the engine. Probably just machinery and such like down there. In any case, there's a red rope blocking our path. We really mustn't cross it.
Oh no, quite so. Unconscionable. Unthinkable.
Probably for the best, truth be told. Our record when it comes to operating machinery we don't fully understand is not entirely spotless.
おー、切れないか。
No, sorry.
なるほど。てこ。
I'm not really inclined to start waving a crowbar around willy-nilly.
あ、戻るか、そしたら。てか、海の中になんかいたよな。
A great lake inside.
No good for what?
なるほど。従業員に話を聞きに帰るか。よし。金庫。
I wonder if you could tell us where Guilfrey's safe is located.
Safe? Oh, no, my lord. The master doesn't have a safe.
But he must.
Begging your pardon, sir, but I'm afraid not. If he did, then he kept it a secret from me.
Well, this is most disappointing, I must say.
隠
Thank you,
し
Miss
てい
Butterball.
た。隠していた。もういきなり詰まっちゃったじゃん。これじゃない？違う。これ金庫じゃ
Now,
ない。
let us have a look in here.
Just some papers.
金
How
庫じゃねえ
boring.
か、さす
Not
がに。
inherently so, but in this case, yes. They don't seem to be of any great interest. Although it,
Best way, in my opinion, get
one would hope.
なるほど。ヒント。
Any ideas, old?
Seems to me we've seen something around this place which could help.
ああ、これか。これで外せんのか。
I'm not really inclined.
外せね
I'm not really. The gramophones. I can't remove this.
え。ネジで固定されてる。ああ、従業員に金庫。水中で息ができるってこれじゃない？
Maybe this will help get a better view.
You can't just stick it on your head.
Yes, and figure out.
Is it even going to fit?
何かで線をしないと。持っていくか。
I don't really.
これは入らないと。お？
No luck, I'm afraid.
I swear I can hear move. Well, I'm out of it.
バールをこうやってさ、バーって。
A little elbow grease is all that's needed for this, I think.
Giraffes don't have elbows, do they?
Well, either way, this seems to be doing the job.
た。
Hello? Is anybody in here?
I'm sure I heard movement. I say, come out and show yourself, you bounder.
I can't see. No. Wait, over there. There's somebody heading towards us.
ー。
Very, very slowly. Greetings. I am Lord Winklebottom, and this is my associate, Dr. Frumple.
Hi,
You,
hi,
I take
hi.
it, are Ambrose, the butler.
Oh, thank heavens you found me, my lord. I've been trapped up here all night.
What the blazes happened to you, old thing?
Oh, some ne'er-do-well shut me in after I disturbed them snooping around up here.
Tell us, who was it?
I do apologise, my lord, but I'm not feeling too well after my ordeal. Would you be so kind as to let me rest a while before I talk about it?
Oh, not at all, old chap. We shall come and see you in the servants' quarters presently.
Very good, my lord. Thank you.
That's disappointing. I was hoping we'd find a criminal up here or something.
Maybe we have.
What, the butler did it? Rather unlikely, what?
Just once I'd like it to be the case, though.
なるほど、なるほど。機械。
Now, what's under here, I wonder?
Oh, I say.
My word, what on earth is it? And what has you so uncharacteristically blithesome, my friend?
Don't you know what this is? It's one of those machines for showing, well,
押し出す機
well,
械。
you know.
I honestly have no idea.
It shows pictures, photographs, you know, of animals. Animals who aren't wearing any,
Any what?
well, anything at all. They're completely undressed. Or so I'm told. I never thought I'd actually see one of these in person.
How absolutely
なんとも不
ghastly.
気味なのだ。ポルノ的なやつってことですか。
A machine that apparently shows photographs of animals in various states
ど
of
ういうこと？
undress.
ポルノってことでいいですか？ あ、ガムテープ。
Some tape used for sealing up boxes and such like.
すぐ取るな。お、
This trunk is full of various knickknacks, trinkets, old tools, and so
お、
on. Let me just check through the tools.
これは
Yes,
いい
there's a
ぞ。
small screwdriver in here. I'll take this. This trunk is full of various knickknacks, trinkets, old.
終わりか。終わりか。これで、これだな。これでこうだ。
This screwdriver fits perfectly. Ah, yes, here we are.
Looks like you've come up trumps. Hey,
Ugh.
おう。これで、こうか。こうじゃない？
Perhaps this trumpet would help with your hearing.
How dare you call me a strumpet? I've never been so offended in all my days.
No, madam, I said trumpet.
Now you're just mumbling, you young reprobate. Look, why don't you give me that trumpet you're holding so I can hear you better?
お、
I wonder if you might borrow your sewing kit.
Well, I suppose so. Just as long as you
Oh.
return it. Take what you need from my bag.
don't think the old bird will want it back after I've been using it to serve the body.
Farewell, Dame Celia.
そうだね。で、戻るか。進んでるぞ。これで、こうです。
I'd really rather not.
やめておこう。あれやめとくんかい。
Right then, I suppose you'll need to perform this autopsy.
Let me take the needle and thread and I'll get on with it. Right, I'll just get ready.
キスザクック。
I'm not really sure about this apron. Oh well, here we go then.
エプロンの文字気になるな。
Is that it?
Yes, all done. He was murdered, all right. Saltwater poisoning. Somebody must have tainted the water in his
Yeah.
pipe network.
And
汚れ
saltwater would
汚れ
kill
てん
him.
だよな。
Yes, he's a freshwater animal. Couldn't survive in salt.
Can you estimate the time of death?
Poor chap probably only died shortly before the maid found him, but the salt could have been put into the system hours earlier. There's no way to know when the killer struck.
So we know how he was killed, but not when. That makes it hard to nail down a suspect. If it could have been done at any time, anybody could have done it. Blast.
Time for a bit of detective work then. Talk to suspects, fill up the old notebook, what?
Indeed, there's a villain on this island, and it's up to us to bring him, or her, to justice. Come, Frumple, the game is a hoof.
血ついてんだよなこれ。どうする次。あ、塗っ
Any
てやる。
ideas, old thing?
There are still a few gaps in the old notebook. Maybe we need to talk to people some more, figure out possible motives.
殺人の道具としては意外。あ、違うか。ノートが埋まってない。あ、そうだ。話を聞きに行かないと。これか。
Tell me about how you got trapped in the attic.
Well, sure. It was like this. I was in the attic sorting through a few of the master's belongings. It's awful messy up there, so I've taken it upon myself to do a spot of spring cleaning.
Go on.
Well, sure, while I was tidying, somebody else came in and started rooting through the boxes. It's dark up there, so they didn't notice me at first.
Who was it?
Well, alas, that I can't tell you, sir. Much as they didn't see me, I couldn't see very much of them.
Most unfortunate.
Anyway, I must have made a sound because I startled them. I tried to give chase, but they ran out the door, slamming it shut. Must have done some damage because it got jammed.
The rotter locked the door at the bottom of the stairs too.
I suppose they must have thought old Ambrose here saw them and wanted to keep him out of the way, at least for a short while. But what were they looking for, I wonder? Ambrose, I regret to inform you that your master is deceased.
I know, sir. Ms. Clutterbuck was kind enough to break the news to me.
Do you have any idea who the rotter might be?
Alas, no, sir. My master was a kind soul. It's hard to imagine anybody wishing him harm.
We have reason to believe there may be a safe in the house somewhere.
No, my lord. Leastways, not as far as I'm aware.
金庫ない
The
か。
master kept his paperwork in his study, but there's no safe in there.
Well, this is frustrating. I mean, just what is the point of a combination if we don't have the safe to go along with it?
なるほど。
Thank you, Ambrose. Turning to the incident then. Are you aware of anybody who might have had a grudge against Gilfrey?
Well, my lord, Pumphrey seemed most vexed of late. Said he overheard the master discussing getting rid of somebody on the telephone. He thought it was him because of an incident in the vegetable garden. But I'm sure it wasn't. I can't think what he overheard.
Please tell us in detail what you know about the incident.
Well, my lord, as you know, I discovered the master dead a short while before you arrived. The other guests were here, and I've been helping them to their rooms.
うん。
I went to find the master, and there he was. Dead. Oh, it was horrible.
And you didn't see anything strange before that?
Well, at the time, I thought it odd that Ambrose wasn't helping with the
う
guests.
ん。はいはい。
I never dreamed he'd been locked up there in the attic all that time.
Miss Clutterbuck, it strikes me you might have had a
不穏な
somewhat
関
uneasy
係。
relationship with the victim.
Oh, no, sir. The master was very kind to me.
Not as kind as you'd have liked there.
I suppose I can't blame him. A person in his position couldn't be seen with somebody like me. He just wouldn't be proper.
Well, quite so.
I fancy I might have resented him for it a bit. Oh, my lord. If only things had been different.
Did you ever discuss this with him? Perhaps he might have felt the same way you did.
Oh, my lord. I just couldn't. The shame of it.
うん。
Thank you, Miss Clutterbuck.
なるほどね。まだ集める必要があるか。
Any idea?
There are still a few.
はい。まあだからみんなに話を聞いて回るか。とりあえず。
Madam? About the incident. How well did you know Gilfrey?
Aristotle, not well. I knew dear Ethelberta for many years, almost since I was a Creer. I remember she was so excited when Aristotle proposed to her. He always seemed such a kind soul.
Then you don't know why anyone would have done him in.
Gracious, no. Please find out what caused this terrible tragedy, Lord Winklebottom. I fear his soul will not rest until you do.
What do you know about the incident?
I have tried to speak to the spirits, but there is a veil over these events. All is cloudy to me.
A load of rot.
Rumple,
Look
could you
at
fill
that.
up?
Oh, maybe you're right, Doctor. Recently, I find myself wondering if my powers are real after all. Perhaps it's all in my head.
You're doubting your abilities.
I might not be the only one. Think about it.
科学
An
の動
animal of
物。
science brought me here. Maybe he didn't believe either. Maybe he planned to put me to the test. If he did, I don't know that I would have passed.
Thank you for your time, madam. Now, about the incident. What can you tell us about Gilfrey?
I don't know him at all. No idea why he invited
先生字が凍ったね。
Truth be told, when I saw that journalist, my blood ran cold.
Why?
A lady has secrets, darling. Things she might want to keep away from her adoring public. I was worried Gilfrey might have discovered something about me and was planning on sharing it with the world.
Do you know anything about what happened?
Not a thing, darling. I hid away in here when I arrived. It gets so tiresome being in public, you know. So many questions,
今でも
demands
人気ってことか。
for autographs and all that.
Well, since you mention it, I have a piece of paper
紙
here
切れ
that
があ
maybe
る。
you could...
Grumple, this is not the time.
紙切れが。
Farewell, Dame Celia.
いや、俺こいつ怪しいと思うけどな、結構。
Reverend, could we talk about the incident? What can you tell us about the incident last night?
Alas, not a jot. I arrived here and went to my room for some peace and quiet before the big event. By the time I came down, poor Gilfrey had already passed.
You saw nothing unusual.
I wish I could help you, but no, I'm afraid I did not.
エラを切るつもりか。
Well, goodbye for now, Reverend.
God be with you, my son.
お前本落としてただろ。本っていうか、本か。事件について。
If we could talk about the incident for a moment. What can you tell us about Gilfrey's death?
Nothing, I'm afraid. I wasn't in the mansion at the time. I live elsewhere on the island.
I
prefer the solitude. It allows me to focus on my work.
How was your relationship with Gilfrey?
I was very grateful to him for offering me work. Many people aren't quite so open-minded, you know.
You don't know of anybody who would wish him harm.
Not at all. He wasn't exactly outgoing, at least in the time I knew him.
But you got along with him well.
As well as could be expected. Like most people, he underestimated me. I'm capable of far more than the work he allowed me to do, Mr. Winklebottom. But I'm used to being underappreciated.
Because you're, you know...
Indeed. Not the sort of work a woman is supposed to do, don't you know? I have to work twice as hard as the others for a quarter of the recognition.
Most frustrating, I'm sure.
And on top of that, I can't even get a lab coat my size with pockets in it. It's just infuriating.
なんか女性と男性で。
Thank you, Miss Price.
あ、でもあれか。昔のあれだからか。昔っていうか。時代的な、あれなんかな。イギリスかなんかな。
Perhaps we should discuss the incident. Do you have any idea who would want to kill poor Gilfrey?
Not a clue, old thing. Not a clue.
He had no legal
全くだ。
problems. Nothing that could suggest a motive.
Nothing that I knew about, and I would have known.
How about the old will? There's always a big kerfuffle about the will in cases like this, at least in my experience.
Nothing out of the ordinary. With his wife dead, just about everything goes to Constance.
Just about everything?
Oh, there was an amount set aside for the staff, to ensure they were well looked after. Not enough to kill for, though.
And what can you tell us about what happened to Gilfrey?
Hard to say, old thing. I mean, there was no shortage of folks coming and going, so it really could have been anybody. Quite the collection of characters, I think you'll agree.
You don't know anybody else here?
Not one of them. I've known Gilfrey for years, but not socially. I just dealt with his legal matters.
Thank you, Mr. Spode. If we could discuss the incident last night. Do you know anything about the circumstances of Gilfrey's death?
Not a jot, old thing. I mean, any one of us could have done it, couldn't we? People coming and going for this big event. I say, it could even have been you. Or Dr. F here.
How dare you, sir? I'm a doctor. I would never.
Steady on, old thing. He was just making a point. How well did you know Admiral Gilfrey?
Never met the fellow. I mean, Connie has talked about him, of course, but we never actually met.
So you don't know who might have wanted to kill him?
Not a clue, old thing. Isn't it usually a family thing? Inheritance and all that.
Alas, his only family is poor Miss Gilfrey. And you, once you're married, of course.
Right, yes, I suppose so. If he'd allowed the marriage, of course. I don't think the old boy approved of me, truth be told. Like my own family, I suppose. I say, You're not suggesting we had anything to do with this, are you?
I'm not suggesting anything at the
現
moment,
時
sir.
点では。
Mr. Spode mentioned Constance's inheritance. It would be rather substantial, I believe.
Oh, rather. I mean, jolly rotten luck and all, but she'll be a rich woman now.
And you a rich man if you're to marry her.
I say, well, that's a fine thing, isn't it? Dashed rude of you, old thing. What exactly are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything, just pointing out the facts.
Well, you can get that idea out of your head right away. The nerve of you. I mean, really, it's just too much.
Thank you, sir. We have reason to believe your father might have owned a safe.
Oh, that's right, he did.
I say, we've been over every blasted inch of that house and I've not seen one anywhere.
You wouldn't, Dr. Frumple. Father hid it.
クリス
It's
トの絵
behind
画
the
の城。
painting in the drawing room. You won't get into it, though. Even I don't know how it opens. Father wouldn't go near it when others were in the room.
So how do you know about it?
One time, when I was just a duckling, I snuck into the room while he had the safe open.
えー、
He didn't see me, thank goodness. I don't think even the staff know it's there. I can't imagine what he kept in it.
Thank you, Miss Gilfrey. Most interesting. Perhaps we could discuss your family. Do you happen to know if there's a particular tune or song your parents used to enjoy together?
Why, yes, there is, as a matter of fact.
うー
A song
ん。
called Waddling in the Moonlight. Mother
Get
used to play
going.
it on the organ.
バイオハ
I
ザー
haven't
ドの
thought
やつ
about
ね
that。for years.
Thank you,
よ
miss.
し。
Farewell, Miss Gilfrey.
だいぶ集まったんじゃないか。
Any ideas or...
There are still a few gaps in the old notebook.
まだあるか。4号車ではなさそう。話聞いた。ああ、ソルティ。ソルティは。なるほど。遺産が手に入る。はい。話は一通り聞いた気するけど。